In the United States, ICE stands for Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and it's an agency that's tasked with a number of things, but largely with identifying, arresting, and reporting undocumented community members. They also have a sort of separate law enforcement function. And what sanctuary cities are intended to do is to limit local cooperation with immigration authorities in some way. So in New York, it takes the manner of sort of pulling out ICE officers from jails like Rikers, for example, or there's a thing called a detainer request, where if someone is arrested and being held and later released, ICE can have a request that says, hang on to this person for another day or two so that we can decide whether we want to arrest them and put them through deportation proceedings. So sanctuary city policies try to limit that kind of cooperation that happens between local and federal law enforcement. At the same time, there are sort of limits to that. And one of the concerns that we have is the way in which surveillance technology allows data sharing between agencies, and the way that which those data sharing arrangements may not necessarily be addressed by sanctuary city policies.
And so I think at its core, we realized that just policing itself was fundamentally incompatible with sanctuary, because policing is, never mind the fact that every arrest can be shared with federal law enforcement officials. Like every arrest, everyone who's fingerprinted by the city, those fingerprints have to be shared with federal law enforcement officials, just as a baseline. But that policing overall is incompatible with sanctuary, and that the growing surveillance capabilities of police has only made policing stronger and more dangerous. And so as police departments gain surveillance powers and the reach of kind of their spying tactics, that only increases this kind of hole in the sanctuary